And this is KC9VKV and the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog program every Friday afternoon at 3:30 till 5 Eastern. We are recording, and if you have a radio that you're looking for to hear what the audio sounds like, give us a shout. We'll be checking in with Charlie up in towards the Canadian border there, K1GZL. And it's difficult to read sometimes when your notebook is directly underneath you. Unfortunately, and the way I have to lay this out, the keyboard is it's got to be at a certain place, and the input selector for the amp receive mode has to be in a certain place, so it winds up that the notepad is somewhere halfway in my stomach, so you kind of have to look down. Anyway, everybody's got their problems, but welcome into the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog program from now until 5. We are recording, and to begin with, we're going to check in with Charlie. Charlie, you got a copy?
Roger. Jim, we coming through there? Go ahead.
Oh, yes, sir. I've got you on the Milford PA this afternoon, and you're like about 20 over the noise level there.
Okay, well, those SDRs really work out terrific. Yeah, the frequency pretty well cleared up. Maybe those stations went off. Pardon me, KC9VKV, K1GZL, light still falling here. And on this 15th of February, 2019, I almost lost the date. Yeah, okay, I did get the book yesterday. I did receive the book in good shape yesterday, and starting to go through it. But boy, I'll tell you, there's a lot of material in there, an awful lot of material. And if you want to call me on Monday at 12:30, or any day at 12:30 Eastern, of course you're on Eastern time, we could discuss this a bit further. KC9VKV, K1GZL.
Roger, Charlie. Well, I'll just look at the first 10 pages or so. At the moment, just the first 10 pages, and we'll figure out how to do it from there, and that should be sufficient. Right on the temperature there, is that particularly cold or warm for your location?
Oh, that's warm. Oh, it's warm. The normal high temperature now is 19 degrees. The normal high temperature is 19. The normal nighttime low is about 5 or 6 degrees Fahrenheit. So it's a very warm day. On Sunday it'll be a bit colder, and I think around next next Thursday night and Friday we may be in for a fairly decent snowstorm, although it's a little too early to say. However, we've had 177 inches of snow for the season if you add them all up, and we average 190 a year, so certainly we are going to surpass that. And there are parts of my yard that have 40 inches of snow on the level ground. Jim, go ahead.
Oh, roger that. Well, I'm just wondering now, can you forecast a particular time in history that you're going to be able to get a bucket truck in there to get your antenna back together?
Probably late April. I think it might be better if I have somebody climb the pole and do it that way. It would be pretty hard to get a big crane up this particular driveway. It would be interesting if it could be done that way. However, it's going to be quite a job to do it. I can almost do it myself, but being 87 years old as of this next coming July 5th, I'm a little bit leery. I used to freeze up for about a 2-year period. When I started climbing, I'd have to grab on, I'd freeze up, that's pretty well gone away. I'm getting back to the way I used to be. So I'm getting my nerve up slowly, but there's a lot of work to be done. It still bangs into Australia, and I've never been aimed at Australia. Oh boy, I got somebody on the phone there, but I think they're going to have to wait. Go ahead, Jim, K1GZL.
Roger, Charlie. Well, listen, climbing towers and poles is something that I used to do a lot of, but, after you hit 70, you start to reevaluate things, and there was one incident after I was 70 that somehow I was up at about the 40-foot mark, and one of my shoes fell off. And I don't know if you've ever tried to be on a tower with one of your shoes off, but it is a pretty painful experience, and it was it was a real challenge to get down from that tower in one piece with just one shoe. So I really had to evaluate my situation after that about being up on a tower. So I don't know. Back to you, Charlie.
Okay, yeah, that was just somebody saying I owe $399 and something on my computer, and I've never had a computer, so I hung that up very, very quickly. Yes, well, I'll tell you one thing that happened to me about 4 years ago. I was climbing up this pole. I was up, about 55, 60 feet. And somebody loaned me one of these belts that you put around yourself and snap in, and I could not get the thing to unplug. I absolutely had a horrible time with it, and I had to yell for help. And my neighbor way out across the road, he came up. And then he called a friend of mine who had the belt, and Bob, KB1IZU, it was his belt. He came up, and he gave me instructions on how to get it off. But for a short period of time, I was in deep sneakers on that. It was very uncomfortable, and I'm glad I did not get anything like an insulin reaction, or that could have been it. By the way, here's how you're coming in on this recording.
Particular time in history that you're going to be able to get a bucket truck in there to get your antenna back together. It was a pretty painful experience, and it was a real challenge to get down from that tower in one piece with just one shoe. So
yeah, that must have been an experience, Jim Doyle.
Roger. Well, it certainly made me reevaluate my situation. It's one of those moments when you ask yourself, what in the world am I doing here? So anyway, Charlie, good to talk to you, sir, and I'll be giving you a landline there probably around Monday or so at 12:30. Roger.
Roger, Jim, and we'll discuss the book situation. Okay, Jim, the very best, and good talking to you about 15 over 9. I realize the short shift predominates this time of day. It predominates, but you're doing a great job in here at the present time. So I would imagine the RF is hitting the ground, especially from, northeast Pennsylvania, covering every square inch all the way out to you. The further out it gets, the weaker due to the daytime absorption. 73, and yeah, good time. Monday around 12:30 would be fine. KC9VKV, K1GZL, northern New Hampshire, as the light snow is falling. 73, Jim, and thank you.
Roger, Roger. Charlie 3 is that away, sir. Have yourself a good afternoon and a good evening. And we'll catch you Monday on the landline. This is KC9VKV, and this is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog program. If you've got a radio that you want to check out the audio, we are air check recording from now until 5 Eastern, and then we will post it within the next couple of days up on YouTube. And you could go to YouTube and do a call letter search for Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, and that will take you to our Qso-Vlog page. And on that page you'll find one of the segments called My Group Air Check 2/15/19. Today's date 2/15/19. This is KC9VKV.